Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video, let's take a dive into the open world genre and check out some of the great looking games coming up this year. Now I think we all are pretty familiar with the open world games by now, but this genre just continues to grow and garner more attention. Now this year, the gaming gods are blessing us with new titles from Insomniac Games, Blizzard Entertainment, Ubisoft, Bethesda Entertainment, and Nintendo, just to name a few. So without further delay, let's check them out. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help a lot, and I sincerely appreciate everyone. Now, is there a more exciting title than Spider-Man 2 coming to the PS5 this year? You know, maybe there is, but in my book, this is one game that I'm drooling over. Now, this could be due to the incredible outcome from Insomniac Games and what they've put out lately, but especially if we look back at the first Spider-Man game that Insomniac gave us. It was so well polished, such a great game, and those of us that have played it have enjoyed it for hours and hours. Now, there isn't much information surrounding Spider-Man 2 just yet, other than the release trailer, which looks incredible. But the small trailer snippet that we see Venom, well, that's enough for me, guys. So who doesn't love a good zombie game? Now, Dead Island 2 is not your typical zombie game, however. Yes, you can hack and slash and shoot and blow these bastards up, but what sets this game apart is the great dark humor to go along with the zombie slaying. Now, it kind of reminds me of Ash vs. Evil Dead, just a really great time. Now, in this rendition, we get to explore Los Angeles that is now flooded with zombies and can even do so with up to 3 people. Now, if you're looking for a bloody RPG experience, look no further than Dead Island 2 coming up to us next month, and I promise you it's probably going to be loaded full of hilarious times as well. Okay, so Diablo 4 may not technically be in the open world category, but I think it's pretty damn close and it's hard to leave off any list for me. And honestly, do I even need to say much here? Those of us that have been around gaming any length of time, especially those of us that enjoy RPG games, we know basically what to expect with D4. Now, the open beta was fantastic in my opinion, minus the wait times. Now, the storytelling seems to be really good this time. The combat was the best it's been in Diablo so far, in my opinion. Also, the visuals, of course, look amazing. The game just looks really, really good for a top-down environment. Now, I don't want to say much else for those that haven't dipped into the game just yet, but I will say it looks like Blizzard is on the right track with this one, and now we have a release date of June 6th, so look forward to this one, guys. D4 is going to be great. So next up we have Avowed, which is another fantasy RPG set in the Pillars of Eternity universe. Now, this RPG is very intriguing, but there's little known just yet other than it has been put off a few times, so that's a little concerning, but maybe there's some other projects that got in the way. Now, there is talk about the possibility of a release date later this year, so let's just keep our fingers crossed for that one. Now, the game was first shown to us at the Xbox Games Showcase in 2021 and looks very similar to Skyrim with rune-based powers and a melee/sword-based combat system. Now, the trailer shows some tidbits of the landscape, a few enemies we might encounter, and what appears to be a fallen empire that needs rebuilding. So if this game looks interesting to you, you might check out the Pillars of Eternity series, which could shed more light on the setting and background of this game. So hoping for more information on this one in the very near future. Now, I think most of us, when we think about Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed has got to be one of the first games that come to our mind. Now, this Assassin's Creed is called Mirage, and will be the 13th major installment in the series. Now, this time the game will be set in Baghdad during the Islamic Golden Age. Now, the main protagonist is shown rising from street thief to a full member of the Assassin Brotherhood. Now, the Brotherhood must fight against the Templar Order for peace and liberty. Now, one thing to point out with this game is the move back to the roots of the game, which I think is a great step in the right direction. Now, this means Mirage will have a bigger focus on linear storytelling and stealth gameplay along with the parkour movements. Now, I've personally been a big fan of the series and even enjoyed Valhalla for the most part, but I'm looking forward to this series moving back to its roots and how it was originally meant to be played. The stealth type gameplay, the parkour movements, and the close quarters combat system is just more fitting to the Assassin's Creed we all know and love. So I'm hoping for additional news on Mirage in the very near future. So next up we have Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora. So regardless how you feel about Avatar films, the story, or any of that, you have to admit that this game and its potential visual displays should be awe-inducing. Now everything in Pandora is colorful and vibrant, which I fully expect to see in this game iteration. Now we've been promised this game for some time, but I personally think they were waiting for The Way of Water to be released and renew the hype on the series. Now there's actually been some talk about pre-orders going live soon, which would mean great news that a release date would be sooner than later. Now it has been confirmed that the game's story is set during The Way of Water's 6-month time skip, but not much else is known regarding how much will be adapted from the film series. Now I have a lot of excitement about this open world action adventure and hope we get some gameplay videos soon and additional information as well. So next up, and probably one of the biggest sequels coming this year, is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Now this game is a sequel to Breath of the Wild and retains many aspects from its predecessor. Now I will say Breath of the Wild is a must play before jumping into Tears of the Kingdom, and you will not regret the experience if you haven't played it. Now this game is easily one of the most anticipated games of all time, largely due to the success of Breath of the Wild and how they brought the open world of Hyrule to us. Now Link is continuing his adventure with perhaps new gameplay that can bring changes to the game world based on remarks made by the game's producer. Now we're not exactly sure what that means just yet, but it appears Nintendo is again bringing us some great additions to the series and some great changes as well. Now we also know that the open world is being expanded to include a more vertical experience, as we can see from parts of the trailer and the exploring of the mysterious floating islands. So in short, May 12th can't get here soon enough. So next up we have Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl. Stalker 2 is yet another sequel that should make its arrival later this year. Now, this first-person shooter/horror game is set to deliver a unique experience while you explore a post-apocalyptic Chernobyl exclusion zone. Now, graphically, the gameplay looks stunning. Combat looks great, and the story is non-linear and allows the player to decide the fate of the zone. We will encounter numerous mutated creatures, each displaying a different behavior model. Now, thankfully, we have access to loads of weapons that can be customized with numerous modifications. Now, we can't forget that survival mechanics also come into play, such as hunger, sleep, bleeding, and of course radiation effects that make the gameplay even more detailed. So pre-purchase is out now, and this game looks to be coming to us in December of this year. Now the developers say the ARK series has been completely rethought and redesigned for this sequel. We can expect traversal mechanics like free climbing and parkour, sliding and swinging, and a Souls-like melee combat emphasizing player skill-based action. Now we're also set to explore a chaotic new world full of invasive primeval creatures from an extinct Earth. Now ARK 2 offers component-based item crafting to create unique gear in millions of combinations. Now we must confront sensory-based creature AI that hunt via sight, sound, and smell, as well as opposing PvE forces in the world that do not like our presence here. As we traverse this new world, we will of course gain experience points to fill our skill tree and activate new abilities and perks. Oh, and there's also Vin Diesel riding a dinosaur, so there's that. Now coming to us May 1st is a vampire-based open-world first-person shooter that sure looks to be a good time. Now as a connoisseur of co-op games, this is what I'm looking forward to, as it has what looks to be a strong co-op vampire slayer with a team of 4. Now we can go about this game with guns a-blazing, which is my preference, or try stealth combat, whatever suits your playstyle. And we can also choose from 4 heroes, each with their own set of strengths and abilities, ranging from telekinetic powers to a military sharpshooter, an aspiring inventor with custom-made weapons, and a combat engineer with a trusty robot. Now Redfall is being brought to us by the minds behind Prey and Dishonored, so this game is sure to bring us a rich, handcrafted experience.
There seem to be warring factions.
So the month of May this year is looking better and better. On the 26th of May, we get our hands on the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now this game is brought to us by the creators of the Batman Arkham series, which happens to be a very strong game series for the most part, so hopefully we can expect a polished experience here, unlike Gotham Knights, which I had really high hopes for. Now there has been quite a bit of negative criticism surrounding the game from fans based on live service and battle pass suspicions and other issues that we saw in Marvel's Avengers. However, the gameplay still looks to me really good, and hopefully this extra time with the game's delay will help these issues get resolved. Now, the jury's out, but we will have our answer soon enough. Now, when I see a game from Bethesda with creators that worked on Fallout 4 and Skyrim, I'm immediately interested. Now, so far, Starfield is an RPG set amongst the stars, looks like one impressive journey. Now, the release date is now set for September 6th, and is the first new universe in 25 years from Bethesda Game Studios. Now, I would really like to see more gameplay, but sometimes Bethesda keeps things to themselves. So we don't know much about the game just yet, but we have been told that we can create a character and explore the stars with unparalleled freedom. Now, the year is 2330, and humanity has ventured beyond our solar system and settled new planets. As the player, our task will be to explore space, seeking rare artifacts throughout the galaxy. Now there is a possibility that we will see more from this game in June, so let's hope that happens, as this game to me is still very, very intriguing. So last but certainly not least, as a Star Wars groupie, it wouldn't matter what this game was or what was being said about it, I'm still buying it and playing it because, well, it's Star Wars. But coming very soon, on April 28th, we can jump back into the story of Cal Kestis in the third-person action-adventure game. So following in step with the Fallen Order, we pick up 5 years later as Cal continues to fight for survival as he seeks out advanced ancient powers outside the reach of the Empire. Now the new trailer is fantastic and shows off some great lightsaber combat that we can expect, as well as our force powers to tip the tide of battle. Now I normally jump to the co-op multiplayer games, but this is one single player game that I cannot wait to jump into. So aside from the outstanding looking combat, we can expect to explore new planets with unique biomes, challenges, and enemies. We can master our skills, gather new equipment, and learn all new abilities. Now, if you haven't played Fallen Order yet, definitely make that happen before this game drops on the 28th, so you'll be ready to continue the story.
A place that's worth fighting for, no matter the cost.
So this is obviously not a comprehensive list, as there are other great titles coming to us as well, but these are just a few of my favorites. Now we have already had a great year of gaming so far, and when it comes to the open world genre, we've actually already seen Hogwarts Legacy, Sons of the Forest, Atomic Heart, and Forspoken. So it's already been a very good 3 months, and we've just started this year in gaming.